Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? We have a few things to talk about today, and the first thing is this might be something that's interesting, okay? I just got done talking about Project Odin. What do you think about this? Maybe a new war has begun.
I feel like we've been programmed to think that if we are in a war, we'll be seeing mass destruction and chaos happening all around us. But I think that we surpassed the time where guns and missiles and violent weapons are the best form of warfare. There are many different types of warfare that would be a much better fit for the time that we're living in right now, and we are currently in an age of information. So, hypothetically, if we were to be in World War III, it would be a war on information. People wouldn't be dying left and right because the people in power wouldn't resort to that since we are their main source of money and power. It would be a silent war, a war on consciousness where people can be enslaved mentally. And a lot of people wouldn't even realize it because they are fully engulfed in this intricately planned out illusion full of distractions and lies, where they are being killed slowly with biological warfare, putting food and medicine in their body that's actually just poison and dumbing them down. And they are so caught up in distractions in this constant state of fear and worry that they don't even realize they're fighting a battle that they have to wake up in order to win.
So I don't know if you guys heard about this, okay, but you know how TikTok was literally like down for like 18 hours and then Trump came in and saved the day. So, all right, so there were a few apps that were shut down, all right? TikTok was one of them, but it came back up like 18 hours later. But there were a few more. One was called CapCut. I've never heard of these. All right, so bear with me. Lemon 8, Gauth, Gauth, and Hypic, Hypic. Yeah, never heard of them. So you know they're probably just new or so. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, so. Did you know, I don't know if I could have been on the receiving end of these calls. I think I would have just left my ass off, but I'll go on. So 911 calls were actually being placed around the country by individuals that were panicking over TikTok being shut down. Do you have nothing better to do? I'm sorry. Have you ever read a book? You might want to start doing that. So, I mean, I can't believe I have to say this, but don't call 911 over a stupid social media app. Unless, of course, you're seeing a crime being committed. But, I mean, here's actually, all right, listen to this. The 911 dispatch from Anoka, A-N-O-K-A County, Minnesota, requesting a welfare check on a caller because he's incoherent and professing his love for TikTok. Swear on my life.
Welfare check on a caller, 10 Street. RP is saying they love TikTok and is very incoherent, saying he's not an American.
Wise words from a wise man. May he rest in peace. President Ronald Reagan.
Government has only two ways of getting money other than raising taxes. It can go into the money market and borrow, competing with its own citizens and driving up interest rates, which it has done, or it can print money, and it's done that. Both methods are inflationary. We're victims of language. The very word inflation leads us to think of it as just high prices. And then, of course, we resent the person who puts on the price tags, forgetting that he or she is also a victim of inflation. Inflation is not just high prices. It's a reduction in the value of our money. When the money supply is increased, but the goods and services available for buying are not, we have too much money chasing too few goods. Wars are usually accompanied by inflation. Everyone is working or fighting But production is of weapons and munitions, not things we can buy and use. Now, one way out would be to raise taxes so that government need not borrow or print money. But in all these years of government growth, we've reached, indeed surpassed, the limit of our people's tolerance or ability to bear an increase in the tax burden. Prior to World War II, taxes were such that on the average we only had to work just a little over 1 month each year to pay our total federal, state, and local tax bill. Today, we have to work 4 months to pay that bill. Some say shift the tax burden to business and industry, but business doesn't pay taxes. Oh, don't get the wrong idea. Business is being taxed so much so that we're being priced out of the world market. But business must pass its costs of operations, and that includes taxes, on to the customer in the price of the product. Only people pay taxes, all the taxes. Government just uses business in a kind of sneaky way to help collect the taxes.
Now, I'm going to be talking about this subject later on in a video for tomorrow, but Pacific Palisades fires. Here's a somewhat of an update for you. This is mind-blowing, okay, because experts are saying that it'll take between 20 to 40 years to rebuild LA. It's because of regulations. In LA, you not only need a building permit, but you need a grading okay, tell me if this makes sense to you. A grading permit, a foundation permit, an electrical permit, a plumbing permit, a mechanical permit, a demolition permit, an encroachment permit. The fire department needs to give you a permit. If you need a septic tank, you need a permit for that. You need a water and sewer connection permit. You need to have an energy compliance permit, an environmental permit, zoning permits. And of course, if you remove any trees, you need a tree removal permit. If you put solar panels, you need a solar panel permit. You need any kind of specialty permits for swimming pools or retaining walls. And of course, you're going to need your certificate of occupancy. This is absolutely insane. I mean, are we sure that this is the land of the free? When we started building, I don't know, hundreds of years ago, were there such things as permits? No, honey, we just started building. Okay? Who the hell came up with all these permits? That's right, the politicians that need their pockets lined. Ciao.
So experts say it'll take between 20 and 40 years to rebuild Los Angeles. Why is that? Well, it's because of their regulations. So in LA, you need not only a building permit, but a grading permit, a foundation permit, an electrical permit, a plumbing permit, a mechanical permit, a demolition permit, an encroachment permit. The fire department needs to give you a permit. If you have a septic tank, you need a permit for that. You need a water and sewer connection permit. You have to have an energy compliance permit, an environmental permit, zoning permits, of course. If you remove any trees, you're going to need a tree removal permit. If you put solar panels, you need a solar panel permit. You need any kind of specialty permits for swimming pools or retaining walls. And of course, you're going to need your certificate of occupancy.